episode 1, variables and such. So basically, in this episode, we may learn about like these things and such. Basically, yeah, variables and such basically. So to make a variable, it's quite easy. You just do local variable. Then to set it to something, you just do this. But you might be wondering, what can we set it to? Well, these are the things we can set it to. So first of all, we can set it to a string. This string is basically like some words or something, text basically. Then we can set it to objects. Objects are basically the actual game items inside of your game, like parts, models, letters, these letters, scripts, cameras, whatever that is inside of here, it's an object basically. Then booleans. So booleans can only be two things: true, false. They're quite useful for another thing called statements. We're gonna get into that in a second. Then numbers. So numbers, what you expect, it's numbers. Then tables. Tables are a bit more complicated. Tables are basically like a list full of all of these other things, like object name, John, truth, 20, all the other things, string, booleans, numbers, all that stuff can be just held inside these lists. And to write a list, you just gotta go boop with these things. Then you can just place any values you want inside of here. And these values and such. So basically, to be able to do something more fancy like how I did here, you can do name of like a certain list inside of your list. It can be like, I don't know, fruit equals table, side of the table already. Then you can do other stuff like apple equals tasty, something like that. You can also do it by doing stuff like this: oranges equals more tasty. And the difference between these two is basically with doing it like this, you can do something like cool, just like this: big table dot apple. Wait, no, which one was it? It was fruit. Yeah, fruit dot apple. It's kind of the same with objects, because with the object you can like get its little values, properties and stuff by doing that. Like here we have the base plate, and we can get its position doing the same thing. So when you think about it, objects and tables have quite a bit of stuff in common. Then the next thing we have, that I forgot to put in here, is vectors. It's like that one superhero that one villain from that one movie. Basically, vectors can be two types: vector 3, that's some type of position in 3D and such, or it can be vector 2. Vector 2. That can be something 2D on your screen. Like this is 0 and that's other size and such. It's helpful for GUIs. And yeah, then there's also UDM. So basically with this thing, instead of using pixel measurements, you use like if you do the 5, now you're gonna have, if you set the position of something to this, then it's gonna be in the middle. It's a bit more complicated with these things. We're gonna look at them in some other time. And then we have nil. Nil is helpful for making a variable, then saying, yeah, this variable, I don't like it. Let's make it equal nothing and get rid of it. Helpful for that. And also, like, if you want to make an object like be deleted, as we have our object here, you can set its parent to nil. And that basically like deletes the object. But if you want to be super sure the object is deleted, you can do object equals nil. But you gotta do its parent equals nil first before that. Basically, you throw it in the trash if you do this. Which, well, you may want. It's easier just to do object destroy. Like this and this is basically the same thing. But yeah. So you now know what variables are used for. They're pretty damn epic. But now you might be wondering, okay, we have variables, what can we use them for? Like, there's nothing we can use these variables for, right? Except like moving an object, but like that's gonna be hard to do. Like, we can't do anything with this. Think I'm a fool? No. Here's where statements, I spelled that very wrong. Statements are basically like ifs and, you know, if, else, if, like all that good stuff. Like if variable doesn't equal epic, then set variable. Wait, what is the variable? Oh yeah, variable equals epic. This basically sets the variable to epic if it wasn't already epic. This little squiggly line, it basically says like that if it isn't that thing, then do this. But you can change that to be like this, which basically means if variable equals epic, then set it to like not epic. Or if you wanna do like some, or if you don't wanna do the little squiggly line here, you can just do this, but say not. Well, fact for you is that this is equal to true, which is, you know, a boolean. So basically setting it to the opposite of that will make it false. So it's gonna be gone here. But yeah, so we go here, it's else. So we can do else if variables are like epic, then I don't know, variable equals no. If it equals no, then do something else. And this thing is quite helpful, to be honest. But again, what can you do with that? Like, we can't really do anything with that either, can we? Well, listen up, little boy, or whoever's watching this. We have functions. This thing is quite a lot useful. Functions are basically like atomic code, but in a smaller space or something, like reusable code basically. Let's make a function that move object to something something. Wait, oops. Let me just fix that. So basically, let's give it first the object, then the position. Basically, when we actually use this function, we're gonna give it some type of object inside of the game, like the base plate, then position, which remember, to set a position, you gotta use vector 3. Let me just fix that error. So let's make it, we move the base plate to, I don't know, 10, 9, yeah, something like that. So in this function, it's basically gonna do object dot position equals position, and it's pretty simple. But let's say you want something more complicated than just that. Also, let me just make this like that, so it doesn't error out. It's just in case that sometimes your object doesn't load in fast enough. You can just do this, so I have to wait until the object has loaded in. But yeah, so let's make another function that does something like more useful. Let's say it does something with math, magic, something. So we give it number 1, number 2, and number, I don't know, 3. So we got 3 numbers. Let's go like local math magic stuff equals number 1 times number 2, then math magic stuff times number 3 minus number 1 . There we go. So basically what this does is, I guess, these 2 numbers, multiplies them and says in this variable equals, these 2 multiplied by that. So here I might be a little bit confused because basically setting this thing to itself, which yes, we are doing that, but look at what's actually happening. Set this variable to itself times number 3 minus number 1. And now we have this magic equation thingamabob. What can we do with it? Like, it's stuck inside of this function. How can we get it out? By doing this simple little line. This simple little line basically lets us do this. Local math equals math magic, let's give it 5, 7, 1, 2. And so now this math, this thing, called this, because the variable is returning this. So basically we're setting this variable to what we return from this. So now we got this cool thing, which is pretty cool. We can do like cool stuff like this. Yeah. So with this, you can basically move the base plate around and also do some math stuff. Yeah. As you can see, base plate is a lot more up now than it was a second ago. Which, I don't know, you might find this pretty useful. I don't know you. But yeah. This is basically what we have all for today. Some other time we might learn some more stuff. But yeah. Bye bye. Epic.